We now have a small addition to the agenda, and I request Mr. Vasudeva Aithala. Aithala founded the Vidyagama Trust in 2021, which is focused on improving learning outcomes in schools that serve underprivileged children. He is a part of the Aithala Charitable Trust based in the US, which is raising funds towards supporting art, culture, education, and social causes. He hails from the Dakshin Kannada district in Karnataka, and he is an ardent lover of Yakshagana. And for the last 20 years, he has been helping popularize the same in the US. I now request Vasudeva Aithala to speak a few words.
Thank you for the introduction. I'm very happy to be part of this gathering here, a purpose driven and a meaningful gathering. Uh, my work and my NGO is a very, very small one, but I remember Ashok always said that uh, small thing has a place in big scalability. So I assume that that was the reason why I've been asked to talk. So first thing, just a quick thing about me that I was working in US for last 27 years and decided to come back to India and be part of some social work like anybody else does. So there's a saying that in India you go out of your house for 100 yards and you'll find 10 different social causes you can work for. So we found, I think, education for underprivileged would be a good cause, especially grade 1 to grade 5, where the real inflection point is. When I say underprivileged, it took 1 year for us to define what is underprivileged. When we listen to all the speakers today, it's a little confusion in my own mind. What is really underprivileged? So, in my mind, underprivileged is a child whose parents are uneducated. School is the only source of learning. If the child doesn't learn in school, then the child doesn't learn. That is underprivileged. Technology doesn't apply to that child because parents cannot give feedback on WhatsApp what their child is doing. Parents cannot read a story to the child what they're doing. So, all the innovation in technology and all, how can it reach to an underprivileged child? It's all in the school. The school has to go well. So, for last 6-7 years, I've been going to schools just to see what I can do to help. So, you go to any school, you meet your headmistress or headmaster. What do you hear? ಸರ್ ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗೋಡೆ ಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋಣೆ ಬೇಕು, ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಬೇಕು, ಶೆಲ್ಫ್ ಬೇಕು, ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಬೇಕು. This is very common. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody loves to have infrastructure. But the ASAR report that came out just 2 days back tells a lot. Enrollment has gone from 60% to 97%. But the foundational learning has stayed still below 30%. What does that mean? That means our focus has gone entirely in infrastructure. We can accommodate 97% of the 250 million students, but we cannot get their education above 30% for years or decades. So that tells that our focus needs to be on learning outcome. So in one such school trip, I happened to ask a teacher in the classroom, how can I help to improve the learning of the student? And this lady said, Sir Nanu, I teach Kannada, I teach math. I heard there is a kit coming to our school. I have been trained, but this one kit is not going to be enough for my school. Can you donate us some kit? That sparked the interest in me to find out what that kit was. That is how I came to know about Akshara Foundation. Then the rest is history. I've been a great admirer of Akshara Foundation because very few NGOs focus on learning outcome, and Akshara has been one of the pioneers of that. And I'm so happy to be part of and admirer of Akshara Foundation. So 2 years back, when I was coming back to India, I asked Ashok, how can I help Akshara do my part? He said, well, so I'm sure your gray hair or no hair will help. Go around to our education department and see if they can do some buy-in and implement GKA in Dakshina Kannada Jilla. So Dakshina Kannada, for most of you probably know, that is considered as one of the most literate or the most educated forward. which is actually a total lie in my view, because if you go there, you can find a lot of migrant workers moving into Dakshina Kannada who are all these underprivileged. Their parents not only have no education, also they don't want their children to be educated because they don't believe in education. The school teachers are tired of telling the parents that your child need to be educated. So that is another, and they give up because they cannot. And the community is not interested in a child coming from Bagalkot or Odisha or Orissa or Manipur because that's not their vote bank. So who's going to support these children? So we took that as the cost, and we tried to work with these schools. One of the thing what we were able to do, and this is very relevant to what the earlier panel was about, how to enable technology, enable the teachers to use technology. So you'll be surprised what I'm going to tell now. I asked the teachers, how can we continue education when the school is closed? No, sir, we have been told not to open the school. We cannot bring the child to the campus. So I kept on asking, what can I do? What can I do? And then they said, sir, there is something called e-Samveda. I'm sure a lot of people know that. It was coming in Doordarshan, and there was a particular time you need to make the child be ready there for 30 minutes class. If the child is 15 minutes late, 5 minutes late, it missed first part of the lesson. And there was no way you could get signal to the classroom and all. So what we did is we did a simple thing. We booked several community halls, rented out big screen TVs. I downloaded all these because we were 1 month behind e-Samveda lessons from Doordarshan. Downloaded these videos, converted these YouTube videos, titled them in Kannada as exactly as is in textbook, put it in a pen drive, and gave it to the teacher. Said, plug it to the TV, you will see the whole title. Here is the remote, click the lesson, 30-minute lesson comes. Here's the pause button, press the pause when you have to stop and explain. You guess what? The teachers were so excited. They said, sir, idu ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗೆ ಸಮೇತ ರಿಫ್ರೆಷರ್ ಆಯಿತು. ನಾವು 2 ವರ್ಷ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಸಮಯದ ಪಾಠ ನೋಡಿ ನಮಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಯ್ತಂತೆ. Not only that, they were able to go back and forth between 3rd grade and 4th grade lessons to get the child up to that. So this was going on for 3-4 months. Between Dakshina Kannada and Uttar Kannada, about 1,000 students benefited from that. Today I am happy to report that these teachers tell me that those children are not as behind as the children who could not attend that. So coming back to Ganita Kalika Andolana. So I said, I'm going to try my best to promote Ganita Kalika Andolana in Dakshina Kannada Jilla. So first thing we tried is we requested Divya Rajesh, who used to be the state trainer of Akshara Foundation, to come and train a bunch of volunteers. I recruited about 20-30 volunteers, and it didn't go well because volunteers had their own agenda and they were not available as we needed. Then they said, okay, next thing we will try is we'll have a blend of teachers and students and do a workshop. That didn't go well because the pace of learning was different. Third thing is we just got the teachers, and we did a 1-day workshop, and we call it as a refresher. The first 1 hour was explaining what is GKA, the elements of GKA. Second 1 hour was introducing every one out of those 24 items in the kit, GKA 1.0. And then third and fourth hour, fourth session was teaching about making the teachers do basic math operation using the kit. So we carried 10 kits all the time, and we have 60 to 70 students, teachers. We break them into a group of 10, make them sit on the floor. Each of them we give a kit, and Divya has one kit on a display, and she teaches each item, shows each item and says one for many, many for one. I think people who have used the kit, they know what I mean by that. And taught the teachers how they can use the kit to make it simple in their own job, and gave them the impression that this is not an additional burden on you. This is making your work easy. Kalika Chetarike as one of the best things that has happened to the schools here, because it shows Ganita Kalika Andolana's products, or the GK 1.0 products in it as a part of the exercise. So all this is helping. So we just concluded 6 out of 7 blocks in Dakshina Kannada. Seventh block is on 27th, and we covered about 480 schools so far. Among 49,000 schools in Karnataka, this is very minuscule. But one thing I can proudly say that I think the feedback is very good. Divya can vouch for it. The teachers, recently we concluded in Mudabidri, we found more than 80% of the teachers treated it as a refresher because they are already using the kit. I'm very happy with that. And then what we do is, this is a blended way of training. We create a WhatsApp group of those teachers for that particular group area, and then ask BRC to share all the videos which Akshara has created, so that they can refresh the what they learned, and also share the KIPD and all, and ask them to post the pictures of using the kit. It has been successful. So the last thing I wanted to say is that the biggest problem we have as NGOs is that raising funds. I was in the US for 28 years. We tried to raise funds for Akshara as well as other NGOs. People want to see tangible results. They want to see, can my name go on that building? Can you put my name on that cupboard in the library? Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I give a computer? But you tell them that the school has reopened, there is shortage of teachers, can you sponsor a teacher's salary? Nobody comes forward because there is no place to put their name on it. Infrastructure spending has gone way overboard in my view. Learning outcome needs investment. So how do we go about? We need to convince donors using, say, the likes of ASER report, saying that we don't need any more infrastructure, we need learning outcomes. Can you help us? And we need to have that paradigm shift in the minds of the donors. And the last thing I want to say is that if Akshara finds our model of doing what we did in Dakshina Kannada, to do the hand holding and continuing the Akshara's work, then consider signing up with or finding one NGO in each district or two NGOs who are really bought into the Akshara's GK, and give them the responsibility, saying that you do that, you be the torch bearers of our work. I think that will work much better. I know we have 50,000, we can have a lot of volunteers, but I don't know how well we can coordinate the volunteers and make it into a meaningful work.